Let's guys give us a few minutes. I think we having difficulties, something with the technology right now. Peace and blessings.
All right, I think he's going to try and come back in. All right. Give him a minute, guys. This is just like really not. Now, give us a moment.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Every time you get in here, brother, kick you right back out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
He's there.
Can you hear me? I can hear you just clear. I don't know if you can hear me though.
Scan has completed. Warning. Map clean probe detected. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you there, Wise?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. I see you. I see you here. We can't hear you. Try and speak now. Let me see if we can hear you because we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Mic check, mic check, mic
I
check.
see you now.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Or does it sound low?
Yes, we do. We do need our own stuff. This crazy that this acting like this. This on America. We need our own stuff. Facts.
Can you
That's all facts. This is like really ridiculous, especially for a platform. I'm paying to be able to host my show on here because you guys know I really don't even care for the StreamYard like this, but it's an easy access to, have people here and to be able to converse and share information. It's just so sad. Wise, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you clear, but can you hear me?
I don't know what's going on, guys. Let's try and play one more and see if we can get some audio going with him, and we'll go from there.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you there, brother?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me though?
Wise?
Yes, I'm here.
No, I cannot hear you, brother. Let's do it via phone,
Can you hear me?
and we'll go from there. Can you give me a call?
Can you hear me?
Bluetooth pairing. Through the phone, because this isn't. We're waiting.
I'm gonna hang up and come back.
Definitely this internet. So, like right now. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear what you're saying. Can't hear anything. Okay, let's see, guys. Power off. Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
Wise?
I had to come. You can hear me? You can hear me
no.
good?
No.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
No?
No, with the audio. Let me try and fix it from this end. Yes, yes. Finally. Yes, there we go.
You hear me?
There we go, brother. I can hear you now, finally.
That's
yes,
good.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, that's good.
Can you guys hear in the chat? Wise, we can hear you now. Go right ahead. Let's talk a little bit about what you do with your with the youth, and get into a little bit about yourself. I'll just mute up. It may be a little bit of delay on my end, but they can definitely hear you. So go right ahead about your boxing and there and so on and so forth, if you don't mind.
Okay, good. My name is Tayshawn WiseDaGod Autry. We go by Team WiseDaGod. I have a business where I teach kids how to box professionally or actually self defense. Also, I have a program where I'm trying to create where I can teach women self defense because a lot of our women have been in a mess about relationships. Um, my program is called Give a Kid a Dream program. It can be Googled on Yahoo, Google, and things like that. I've been boxing professionally since 2011. Started in 2008. Um, I have a business right now. It's called Black Task Force LLC. We are an entertainment company. We've been giving back to the community from Brooklyn to Harlem to North Carolina, and now I currently reside in Miami, Florida. I have a location in North Carolina. Um, that pretty much sums it all up. Um, I also am connected to people like Deontay Wilder, Marie Lynn, Usher, um, just a few names to throw out there that I have actually actively communicated when it comes to community. Um, and that's about it for right now. Any more questions?
It's kind of going in and out a little bit, brother, but I can hear you. You know, dear, because I'm not really sure what's going on this end, but it is a little shaky.
Let me get rid of the headphones.
Oh, okay, okay, great.
Is this better? Is this better?
Okay, go right ahead. We can hear you so much better now. Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
let me go.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go back into it. My name is Tayshawn Autry. I'm a professional boxer. I have program is to teach children discipline and self defense. I've been doing it since 2016. I started in Harlem and worked my way through Brooklyn, New York, near Bushwick and Decatur, and then I went back to where I'm from, North Carolina, and I've been teaching kids there too. The city is Fayetteville and Wilmington, North Carolina, and now I reside currently in Miami, and I'm actively trying to get into the community here as well. And I'm also creating a new program for women that are at high risk of domestic violence. I'm actually part of different programs in North Carolina. It's called Stop CPS. It's a program where there's women that the system had took their children, and currently it's like we're fighting against the system, because a lot of our children are being taken out of homes um, for no reason. There's situations where I know a sister in North Carolina where her baby father had beat her to the point where she couldn't walk, and she took out a restraining order, and they arrested him, and she put a restraining order on him, and so long story short, he ended up getting the kids, and he is the he's not the victim, he's the person doing the abusing, and they took her kids and gave them to the father, and he's pretty much he has the kids and he's still trying to abuse her. So like situations like that, I'm trying to set up where women can call my organization, and if they have in a situation internally in the home, the boyfriend, the husband is putting his hands on it, they call my organization and we'll come out and straighten him out, similar to something the Nation of Islam was doing back in the 60s when Malcolm was trying to rehabilitate our men and our women, and it all starts in the home. The name of my organization is Black Task Force LLC. Right now we're operating as an entertainment company. Also, I'm connected to a program that teaches children, how to protect themselves and discipline, which is called Give a Kid a Dream. I partner with a boxing gym from out of Brooklyn, New York. It's called Gleason's Boxing Gym. It's actually United States' oldest gym next to Crunk. Um, the organization has produced kids like Mike Tyson. There's one notable name that this program had produced different fighters. I'm also connected while I'm doing a little program with Usher and other individuals. Deontay Wilder, which is a celebrity boxer as well. My girlfriend is currently, she actively helps me in these programs as well. Her name is Keisha McLeod. She was ranked #1 in the world, female boxer. So that's pretty much what my programs has been doing for the past since 2016. Again, we're called Black Task Force LLC, and I currently am in the running for a title fight in April. It'll be definitely interesting. Also, I get into other works as well, which pertains to Kemet, and which most guys or people know from the Greek term is Egypt. And I would definitely open that up, and I'm gonna pass it back to my sister. And I would like to say thank you for inviting me on the platform as well. Can't hear you.
I with the fight, you said that your fight's coming up in April. What type of fighting do you do? Is it like lightweight, heavyweight? What is it like? Featherweight championship? Like what type of fighting is this?
Well, I fight at super bantamweight. That's like 119. I'm currently 150 pounds. I'll be fighting for the USBF super bantamweight title in South Carolina. I'm actually promoting the fight, whereas I'm pretty much the guy that's paying for everything, and it's good that I control my own career because a lot of fighters don't. And I have to give credit to Floyd Mayweather for teaching the new youth how to control their
Okay.
career. A lot of our fighters are broke because they couldn't control their career.
Now let me ask you: you think it's dangerous we see a lot of these fighters that have issues from taking like these head, or maybe something that's dangerous to what do you notice as far as with your career? Have you noticed any type of issues? Is this something to be concerned with when children are like, taking up boxing, so on and so forth?
Well, I know when I first started, my mother was scared for me to go into it because of the sport. It is a dangerous sport. But usually when fighters take dangerous fights, it's because they need money, and that kind of goes hand in hand. Because with me, I kind of learned how to control taking bad fights that I should not take because I need money. I take the fights that I'm able to promote, and my team, we get together, whatever name is thrown at us, we look at the opponent, and if it's a good fight for us, we'll take it if it makes sense. And if it looks like a dangerous fight, we'll be like, well, we're not ready for this fight at this moment, so we might be ready 3 months later for a fight like that. That's how you protect yourself as a fighter. Now, as far as the children learning how to fight, is mainly for discipline purposes, of course, self-defense. When I
Okay.
teach the youth how to, how to fight, the first thing is you go into meditation, and that can take several months depending on the child's temperament. If he has a temper, it's going to take a little longer for me to put him into the next development stage, which will be learning how to throw the basic Western boxing jab. So the first step is meditation, and actually
Mm.
learning your history as well.
So when it comes to that, that's kind of one of my favorite subjects. The you said something about Kemet. What is it about Kemet that kind of helps you, go back into that? Is it something actually connection? You said something about using the meditation, and that's like one of my favorite things. I always promote that. When you're thinking about the meditative process and using that with your boxing and being in tune and things of that nature, how does that, apply? How does all that apply to that?
Well, before I started studying Kemet, I was in the lining of be actually becoming a monk. So I was going through different stages in life, and
Okay.
meditation for me is a healing process, because one could have so much anger, and sometimes you have to learn how to have control of the mind. Boxing is 90% physical. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Is 90% mental, and the rest is physical. And the first stage is learning how to be able to not be defeated mentally. And I think meditation had helped me with that um, for the past 11 years of my career. And Kemet, for me, I applied what I learned from Kemet into my life, and also I apply that to business as well. Um, I know you had my website on here. It's called The Rising of a Dynasty. I feel like as melanated individuals, a lot of us don't know
Right.
where we come from, you know. So I apply anything that I learned from Kemet to my
Right.
life, and it kind of, I would say kind of, it soared my career to the next level. And there's so many things that I would definitely like to get in with you about Kemet and a whole host of other things.
We're gonna get kicked.
Let me put my
Jokingly, but like it just
Can you hear me?
Oh, worst internet today, guys. Let's mic up some.
I can hear you now.
Guys, go to okay. So yes, the site. Let's talk about your site real quick and what you were saying as far as like it relating up now.
Say that one more time. You got cut off.
And it says Autry. Yes, the rise of a dynasty. That's that's what's on the site.
Yes, Rising of a Dynasty. That's correct. Can you hear me?
It talks about your introduction to uh, the boxing and certain things of the sort, showing some of your actions kind of delayed. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Wow, no response. You see this? No, he's not. It's just like the account's making it where you can't hear anything I'm saying. So absurd.
around Dr. York before Dr. York had got arrested. You know, she was a part of the people in Atlanta. I was kind of in the streets around that time, and really wasn't focusing. And a brother introduced me to Right Knowledge. Introduced to WAP, and then I end up gaining more nation, and I kind of directed my. And that's when I was introduced to Dr. John Henry Clark's information.
Okay.
And it was a process of having a, just a young teen's father, dropped out of school, become a professional boxer. And I started applying key things to my life. Like simple things when it came to knowledge, particularly to the 42 laws of Maya, the 42 laws of nature. I started actually applying those.
Let me ask you real quick. So with your mom being affiliated or associated with Dr. York, did anything that, any of his teachings, did you learn anything from the teaching, even though you were at a younger age? Was there any type of influence on the teachings of Dr. York that you learned in relations to this, the Mayat, the Ma'at, or so on and so forth at all?
Yeah, the non-leader levels. Somewhat it did. I was going into linguistics, trying to learn the actual language in different languages. But prior to that, I was kind of like introduced through my grandma to Islam, the Islamic faith. So like I was kind of transitioning through both, but my mother, she kind of put me into it. But I would say Dr. York's teachings, I don't think it just directed me to Kemet. That's all it did.
Okay, it gave you a direction.
Yeah.
So there with your inquiry, so you're like, okay, I hear what he's talking about. Something in there sound it resonated with you. Is a word I like to use. It resonated with your spirit, and it gave you a direction to lead you somewhere else, and there you went into the Kemet style.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. And I really am happy that my mother did introduce me to it.
Okay.
Because to be technical with you, I don't know where I would be at as a young man, or where I would have been at this, at a particular time. But yeah.
Okay.
And also, the more research that I was digging into the Milwaukeeans, kind of it's like, if I want to follow a master teacher that's been convicted of several things,
right?
And also admitted to them. That it's a big red flag. Extremely big.
Absolutely. So when it comes to a lot of the Kemet, we had a conversation on Clubhouse, when they were going through the with May. He's something with the why I hate the Bible thing, the questioning, and there were some things that you brought up. Can you give us a little bit of your ideology as far as like how that pertains to religion, or it's not religion, and how certain things are from this particular era, and it plays into our particular ancestry, and there are quite a few different things. You said I wanted to kind of get your insight on that.
Well, what I was trying to do is I was trying to let brothers and sisters know that instead of us arguing about him being a Muslim and him being a Christian and him being a Catholic, we all have to understand that when it comes to the religion, we have to definitely realize that the Pope had something to do with enslavement of so-called African and indigenous inhabitants of Earth. This happened around 1418 to 1839, when Nicholas V had actually issued a war on all melanated people of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I wanted to also touch up on what you were saying as well, that black is a dangerous word, and it really is a dangerous word, because black has no standing in law, and that's one thing that my mother had installed into me as well. And I have a sister that is also a lawyer, and not a, like, she has her own organization, but she's a lawyer, and she verifies a lot of things that I said. We had done a lot of work to try to undo what the enemy has put in place. But I definitely would like to touch up on the fact of Nicholas V issuing a war on all indigenous inhabitants of Earth that were melanated, not the Asiatic Asians that we see now here with the slanted eyes that only been here for like a 10,000 year period, that came down through the Northern Pole from Asia. Those are not the original inhabitants of America.
Right. In the original, real quick, off topic somewhat, but on the same thing, right now, the original indigenous black, I would say, Philippines and Vietnamese in that area that came from Asia, that were all pushed out and mixed, and in the China, which were the Euro Asians and everything came in. These people right now are in the war with the Putin guy. So yeah. the so-called war outside.
Yes. You just dropped a bomb.
Right.
It's connected right there. I like
yeah.
it.
Yeah, so basically what's going on, we there was someone talking about like sending some funds over there, and we need to show support, this and I can get the aspect of that, because there's always been a war on us. Like, no matter what nation we are, what country we're at, what country we come from, there's a continuous war against our people, right? So no matter what they do, they will be there will be battles and battles and battles. A lot of times we as a people being minimized in our mind, we don't understand or get or understand that they're under the understanding. They're not able to rise above that and have the understanding connect to their mind and disseminate these falsehoods, these lies, these pretentious thinkings, where people are believing a lot of this stuff. Like, even with what's going on, we can go, we can help, and people need to go do this and go do that. There's really nothing to do. These things are so higher above anything that a physical person can do. We're going through spiritual things right now. This is just another spiritual battle that our ancestors have been fighting, and they're going to have the support they need from the ancestors. I mean, that's the best I can say. But what do you feel about that, brother?
Well, you're definitely right. It definitely is a spiritual war going on, and there are actual brothers and sisters that are out there trying to combat this. Mm-hmm. They have huge seminars in Manhattan. People pay thousands of dollars to go and do these things. That's a little out of my expertise.
Okay.
I'm definitely advanced when it comes to that. I'm kind of on the level of learning my shamans, like Shango, Yayo, on that level. So I'm kind of like getting there. But it definitely is a spiritual war, because it all links right back to that religious aspect. European look at religion as a political game, and we look at religion as a spiritual game, and that's the reason why we're having turmoil within our community. And I definitely wanted to touch up on the Egypt being America as well. I have 10 pieces of evaluation that prove that melanated people had sailed to America long before Christopher Columbus, and it actually breaks down us being here as well.
Yeah, we've shown plenty of documents, brother. My listeners are fully aware. Like you said, that's a pure dissemination and a lie in itself. We looked at the maps and everything that show how we were here all over. Actually, even that area over there where they're fighting and this so-called Russia, that was another part that was part of the empires that belonged to our people as well, that were pushed over, and a lot of that stuff. They just tried to take over. This is what a lot of this stuff is going on now. The battle of the Biden gang. I call them a gang, not a family. It's a Biden gang over there. They're Putin's actually fighting Biden. You might as well just say they might as well get in the ring or something. You feel me? So, it's all of this. Just square up and leave us out of it. You know what I'm saying? And then they draw us into it, giving we want their energy. Let's make them think this. They had all these simulations. I literally was doing the day of the so-called first day of the war. They were doing the showing the war, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, if this don't look like a centipede, a tyree, I mean, it was so pathetic. Even these people, they have people showing this lady. She's sitting up there filming. A sis brought this to my attention, or someone else brought this to my attention. But we've been talking about this so much because it's so absurd. But somebody brought to my attention about the lady standing there. She's filming. She in her window. Oh my gosh, they're bombing. They're bombing. She's showing she picturing it. A picture of them bombing. She's standing there. The bomb blows. Boom. That blows everything up. She's still in the planes and all. Girl, how your internet still working? How none of them wires ain't stopped, sis? What's going on? You still filming on? You ain't ran for cover thinking that you're building next? What's going on? I'm just we don't even be thinking, about what makes common sense. People there's another video I saw yesterday. They riding down the road and bombs going off here, bombs going off over there. And, they're just like, wow, look, it's like y'all just filming oh, wow, look at this. I'm going to say this for a lifetime, the World War III event. I mean, what are you doing? All this is just so absurd to me, and how people can believe this fictitious nonsense. Go ahead, brother, please.
Just to actually touch up on what you were just saying, that we are actually the original Europeans. Now Europe, it comes from a goddess from out of
Europia.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's definitely not a question of which is of us actually influencing Europe and actually being there.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely true.
Yes, brother. We literally just did a whole video on it. Yeah. We read documentations, and even with the Roman laws, it talked about it. It gave us proof of the tribes, all of the tribes. It gave us proof of the government. You know how they'll say, oh, we were savages, anything. Over in Rome, the tribes and the elders were actually the Senate, and they actually had governance. We've seen the buildings, the structures that show everything they were talking about, showing everything that was going on. So, people have all this proof in front of them, and they'll still be believing the lies. It's like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
They will believe them in Clubhouse,
mm-hmm.
by and hearing all these brothers, defending the Bible, and if that's your take on, you wanting to have, because I don't believe in breaking somebody's, belief system, but you have to you have to go back to the source of where everything came from. You just can't keep spitting out the same knowledge that's keeping our minds enslaved.
That's right.
So you definitely hit it right on the top of the head when it comes to that.
Yeah, so it's the mental battle is the hardest war to fight.
Yes.
It's the worst thing for a person to disseminate, and once it starts to be disseminated, it's hard to build it back. But people have to restructure themselves to be able to get that foundation and know the truth by building the correct stumbling blocks are not beneficial. Listening to things that don't make sense, going into these religious dogmas and following behind this and following behind that. They have to just be aware of what's really going on, and, be in tune with, managing themselves the right way so that they're getting the right information, studying the right things, not being closed off to information and, putting the clues together and, trying to tie things together so that you're looking at the valid facts.
Yes, that is true. And I remember when I first got into boxing, well, not actually first got into boxing. When I first got into boxing, the government had took my boxing license. I had actually killed somebody in the ring. And the family was suing the government, which was the boxing commission, and they had took my boxing license. And I remember when I got back, it was like in 2016, 2015. The retirement period from 2013 to 2016 to when I got my license back. And I remember when I got back into boxing, and trust and believe that hurt me financially because I was unable to box for that amount of time. But once I was able to get my foot back into boxing in 2016, I would call her and they would say things like, let me ask you a question, brother, are you a Mason? And I would be like, no, I'm a boxer. With me having I'm a boxer, and they would be like, well, let me tell you something. If you become a Mason, the doors are definitely open up for you. And I would get that for like a straight year. And going into the conversation on people having information and being right in front of them and not really looking into it. I was kind of one of those individuals, but I also I was being blacklisted in boxing by Masons because they wanted my talent, and I didn't want to give my talent to an organization that I felt like was my right to even, you know what I mean? Because the version of what the Freemasons are learning, which comes from Kemet, I think it is a bastardized version of Kemet. But I remember for a very long time, even to this day, I get people trying to get me to join the Masons. I have attempts. People put attempts on my life. My life has been in danger more than several different times. And I definitely would like to touch upon that with you as well, because the rabbit hole is very deep when it comes to us opening our eyes and waking up and putting knowledge and applying it to our life. People will definitely see that, and it can be a danger to an individual as well. And there's a lot of agents out here as well.
Mm-hmm. So get into that. Go right ahead.
Yes. I was also blacklisted in boxing because of what I was trying to do. I'm an individual that's against men degrading women. I'm a big advocate of that. I hate that. That disgusts me. So a lot of things that I stand for, the elite doesn't really like that. I mean, I've sat at the table with the Prime Minister of Canada, and he looked at me across and said, "Hey, look, are you a Mason?" And I told him no. He was like, "If you join, a lot of doors would open up for you." And I remember when I decided to actually look into that. I actually tried to look into that. I went to one of the oldest temples in the U.S. in Manhattan. And let me tell you, sister, there's so many things that definitely belong to us as a people, and we need to take control of that.
Yeah, but pretty much everything.
Yes, that's true. That is definitely true, because I was in the temple. I looked around the room, I saw a picture dating back from the early 1800s. It was a white guy and a melanated guy side by side. Sorry, let me correct myself. A Caucasian and a melanated brother standing side by me were in the middle of a pyramid. The iron horse was in the middle, and the scales was there, and everything looked so enchanting to me, right? And I remember looking, and I was just like, wow, this is Kemet here, just a different name. This is a different name, a different light. You know what I mean? So I remember they was taking me in different areas, and I know a lot of people would say, why are you even talking about that because I'm not a Mason. That's why I can speak about it. And I don't agree with a lot of things that they're being, they teach, right? Because I feel like it's a bastardized version, just like the Bible is too. But I remember when I walked into the pyramid and they introduced me, and it was like we had several different chapters, and I remember they were introducing me to chapters. They kept inviting me, and I kept going because I was interested. I was young. I was like 24, So I would go, and I kept going, and that's when they took me to this room. It had no doors. It was a whole lot of curtains. It was a lot of elders in here. It was a lot of melanated brothers with suits on, elders from their 90s, and you know what I mean? It was a very older gentleman in there, and there was some Caucasians in there that was elders as well. And the brother that invited me to this, it was more like, I would like to say, it was a ritual, but it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because when he introduced me to it, he looked at me and said, "Well, I want you to come because a lot of elders will be there, and I would definitely like for you to meet the elders, and if they give you the green light, you definitely can join." And I was like, I wasn't
Bluetooth connected.
trying to join. I was just trying to learn. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when he took me in there, he sat me down, and he was like, "Look, let me tell you something. We control boxing. We control judges. We control the government. We control the churches." He was giving me all this vast information as if I was just going to initiate it right then on the spot when they were doing their ritual. And they were in there doing martial arts. So it was a chapter that was, that focused on just sports. And they were in their ritual. These brothers had vests on. It was all in red, dripping red. And they were just doing like this ritual type of martial arts. They was fighting each other like an active thing going on in this temple. But mind you, I was in there with a lot of elders, and there was no doors. So when I went in,
oh wow, let's stop it right there. There were no doors. What happened with behind that? Let's come back, brother, on the StreamYard. We're about to close out main radio, a little better connection, and continue there. So yeah, meet me back there. I appreciate you, guys. We want to thank Mr. Tayshawn for joining us and going over this information, and we will be continuing on our conversation. But thank you so much for listening to Sister Soul on the main radio. Make sure you tune in each and every Sunday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll be in with you guys to continue on this conversation Wednesday. All right, guys. Peace, love, blessings, and I'm out. Oh my gosh, guys. So we should have a better connection now, guys, since let me close this. Oh my god, I gotta close everything out over here. And then we should be good. Appreciate y'all patience. All right, brother, we got you in here.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, perfect. Ooh, that was like the first thing. Now it's perfectly clear. We are good to go. Go ahead. You were talking about the door.
Yes, when they was in there doing the martial arts, I remember that there was no, the door that I went in, it disappeared. And it was just curtains everywhere. And I was looking around, I was looking for a door because at this moment, I'm watching these brothers and they're doing martial arts and I'm in a room with elders. I felt honored to be there, but being that there was no doors, I was kind of I felt like anything could happen at that moment. And once they got done, each elder walked past me. And I was still looking around the room like, where's the doors, And each elder, they let the melanated brothers come first. And I was getting initiated at that moment and did not know. I didn't know I was getting initiated. I thought I was just coming to a meeting like I normally did. and each one of them was shaking their head, when they were shaking my hand, they would like look at me and they would nod their head and they would walk past. And then there was the Caucasian brothers that were elders too, and they walked past and they did the same thing. And that's when the third degree Mason walked up to me and he was like, all the elders would definitely like you to join. And I was like, so is this, he was like, I said, is this the initiation? And he didn't answer. He was just like, well, there's other chapters you can join because there's other chapters that were looking for you to join. So they were more on the fact of instead of me joining there, like looking to other areas or other avenues of different chapters. So I was like, all right, cool, that's what he was saying, but I was still looking for the doors. That's what I was still looking for. I was like, he was like, let me walk you out because you ain't gonna know where where the exit is. And eventually he showed me the exit, and that was my introduction to the Masons. And I had a lot of questions that were answered. Had a lot of questions that the brother was able to answer. And ever since then, my career's been elevating. I never did join, but I was introduced. And it was a strange world because when I did walk out of the room, they set me on a bench, and different chapters were walking by and they were looking at me, and some of the people would stop and speak to me and give me different dates of their meetings. And I just never went back into that avenue because there was different brothers that were coming up to me and giving me information. It was like promoters, just different individuals that were elite people. And remember, they looked at me, and one brother shook my hand. He was like, yeah, I have a chapter and we're all boxing promoters. And when he shook my hand, I felt like he had no spirit or no soul. And that was one of the reasons that I never joined the Masons.
Well, that's a great thing. I wouldn't even want to be in that position.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I would definitely like to mention that Dr. York was also a Mason, too.
Oh yeah, most of those people that are in those particular roles are, in that field. So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, I didn't even know when they wanted me to join the WAPU. My main questions I was asking the brothers that were part of the temple for Bushwick and Brooklyn, I would ask them, I would be like, can I ask you a question? I'd be like, does can you tell me more about Kush than telling me about Egypt? Because that's the Greek term. I'm surprised you're not using it as Kemet. He said, well, the more popularized word is Egypt. I was like, well, wouldn't you want to touch up to individuals that know things a little deeper than people that are beginners? Because I'm not a beginner. And I was like, I would definitely like for you guys to touch up on more of Kush or Tasseti.
Well, talk a little bit about that. What is the Kush? I'm not real familiar with like Kush and the Kemet information. Can we
Well,
get a look into that?
I feel like the Nubian side gave birth to the Nile Valley, the six cataracts. And I was definitely trying to get Nuwapians to go into that, but they restrained from doing that. I kind of figured they didn't know, and they wanted me to join. They also gave me the green light there. And at the time, I didn't even know these brothers was Masons, you know. And once I found out that they were Masons, that just even gave me more uh, of a caution, like not to join. Because when you go into the Nubian side, you have to remember the Scorpion King or King Numer, who actually unified the land of Egypt. And I would ask him about this, and he could not give me a direct answer. I mean, because this is research that I had in a book when I was going to the classes off of Bushwick, the temple. Also, there's a famous brother that also be going to that temple. His name is Pharaoh, um, which one of the individuals that I do not like in a way, but because he's very vulgar and he really disrespect melanated women. And I remember these guys couldn't give me direct answers to things that I had actually PDF files on, and knowledge that I had already researched, and I just wanted for them to give me a direct answer. And there's so many things about the Nuwapians that I feel like is fraudulent. But yeah, that's one of the things that they couldn't answer. People want to know the first person that unified the lands of Egypt or Kemet within Upper and Lower Egypt or Kemet. That would be King Numa, or some people call King Pi, or the Scorpion King. Scholars and historians debate that, and scientists debate who actually did it. But the individual that was the first pharaoh of Kemet derived from Nubia within the African lands, and a lot of individuals don't understand that saying that we are from Africa is basically saying that we're a primitive people, and the Caucasian was the first person that sailed the seas, which is an actual lie. It's not it's not the belief, it's not a belief system, it's a historical fact. There's a brother by the, well, I wouldn't call him a brother, he's more of a German or Russian. His name is Andrew Kovositz, something like that. He was a professor from Harvard, and he actually discovered different skeletons of pharaohs that were entombed in the California area and the Mexico area, and they were known to be the Olmecs, and that date back to 44 BC or BCE. And then there's evidence also within the Peruvian deserts, that actually information that surfaced, that there is pyramids in the Peruvian desert that predates the pyramids that which are in Kemet, or so-called Africa, right? And those ruins, the government, the Peruvian government, and the United States government, and European governments of the whole don't want to pay, for individuals to go in to study that site, because as soon as you look at the site, there's a big unk in the center, and going down, you see the unk going into the pyramid. So that right there is definitely a red flag for our people to open their eyes and realize that Kemet has been here in America all along. We know for a fact scientists do not want to push this out in the open and put this in the history, directly put it into the history books, or put it into our school systems for our children to learn. I remember Dr. Clark is a famous Egyptologist. Dr. Yofis Ben is a famous Egyptologist, and those individuals actually touch up on this. There's a book that Dr. Clark introduced, and was written by a brother named Bradley, which is a Caucasian. But this information is nothing but Christopher Columbus' diaries and his logs, and he had stated that when he came to the West Indies, what he saw were melanated brothers. His navigators were of Moorish men. And we have to look at that as well when it comes to the Moors. And I kind of don't really touch the subject of talking about the Moors, because I have mixed feelings on the Moors, or the Moors science temples, and that to be a fact. I kind of steer away
What's
from
the
the
mixed
Moors.
feelings?
Say that again.
What are your mixed feelings?
Well, I've had conversations with elders, and they would say weird things like the indigenous melanated woman of America, they did 6 experiments with, they had them having sexual relations with animals, and that's how the white man came to existence. And I find that I find that false, inaccurate information. So when I speak to certain individuals that are part of different organizations, like I actually had a debate with Dr. What's his name? His name is Brother Ben X. Me and him went on a live, and I was trying to build with the brother, and I kind of felt his energy because he's a part of the nation, and I find the Moors in to have an Islamic faith and also an Islamic foundation. So I kind of lump them in a category right along with the nation because I get the same energy from them. They don't really never want to build. They always want to
Mhm.
argue, and that's the problem we have. We have a whole of that's the problem we have as a community. Like once we understand information and we sit at the table and we bring it together, we can go further in this universe because we're just not confined to Earth. We're also connected to the universe. And one thing we have to do is once we understand the knowledge and we all can agree on one thing, like the European did with the Berlin Conference on dividing up just not Africa, dividing up America, because Nikolai V had, remember, he had issued a war against all melanated indigenous people of Earth, not Africans of Africa. You see what I'm saying? Indigenous inhabitants of Earth around 1418 to 1839, and that's one of the one of the the signification that gave Christopher Columbus that mighty roar to navigate and go off and to explore the new world. Um, and that's what gave the Portuguese the honor to go and enslave the indigenous inhabitants of Africa and of America. Um, this is so deep that we have to understand that that's the reason why they denying the fact of melanated people having a global civilization and not being confined to one continent. And that's been one of my goals. I've been to the Mayan pyramids, and I've documented and recorded um, all of the things that I've experienced. Um, and I remember seeing something called the Eye of Creation carved on the pyramids. They call them glyphs in Mexico instead of, they call them hieroglyphs, you
Mhm.
know, and I think, in Kemet. But either way, I saw the Eye of Creation. It reminded me of the Eye of Horus. They call it the sun disk in Mayan, in the Mayan civilization, just like they call it the sun disk within Kemet. So I see a lot of similarities in the writings, and it kind of run in direct and together. And also, when you look at the mummies they found in Africa, they call them the cocaine mummies, and we know that cocoa leaves do not grow in Africa; it grows in America. So, and I know for a fact, there's a famous historian. His name is Herodotus. He had documented that Ramses III had traveled to the New World, and he was in constant trade with the original inhabitants. That also around the same time frame that he dated, this was around 445 BC. And the
Mhm.
same time, the Olmecs was in not a decline, but in a high rise of civilization around 44 BC as well. 445 BC as well. So that time frame kind of matches up directly because this was written by one of uh, the Europe or the Caucasians' most famous historian, and it's from the Greeks as well. And he had a secondhand count eyewitness, and he documented this. And a lot of people, when I say that Ramsey III was in constant travel and trade with the indigenous inhabitants of America, they say, "Yo, where's that information?" Well, the information is in the historical records because it was written by one of the Caucasian's most famous historians, which that's of Herodotus. So that's my whole take on the reason why the information is being denied to us, or is we're not getting the credit for having a global civilization. as melanated individuals, I feel like we should not be confined to one continent. We should give signification of being the great navigator, the great pillar of civilization. You know what I mean? And everywhere we go, we see black faces, like you was mentioning in the Philippines. When we go to India, let's just say India, there's a tribe that's called the Sandalese Island. That's
Yeah.
a tribe of heavy melanated people. And at the time, I remember Great Britain, on their quest of conquering indigenous people, they had went to this island and took two elders and two children. The two elders died because they took them back to the United Kingdom because they was trying to find a way to conquer the land, because they couldn't go like they did other areas. Get off the boat, give them food, and try to swindle them out of their land. Well, these particular inhabitants and tribal individuals were not having that. So what they did was they snatched two elders and two children, brought them back to England. The two elders died because of diseases that those English had at the time. You got to remember, these people were very nasty. We have to remember there's something called the Dark Plague that was it was really more dangerous than COVID-19. So people should look into that as well. And when they brought the two elders to England, they died from diseases. And then there was the only one, the children were left. So they just dropped the children back off on the Sandalese Island and just left. So ever since then, those indigenous inhabitants of the Sandalese Islands, anytime someone come, they kill. And if someone would like to look it up, there's actually someone called this a tribe of individuals called, the Sandalese tribe, which is the Sandalese Island. And these individuals been confined to that part of India for over 100,000 years. So that's why when we look at the Hindu Indians, we see a lot of them that have dark skin, like really dark skin. Some of their skin is darker than us, but they have that Eurocentric Caucasian straight hair, because that's the mixture of the Asiatic Caucasian Asian that interbreeded with the tribal individuals that were in India. And there's several different ancient tribes that are still in India. Ancient tribes that have woolly hair. They don't have that straight stringy hair. They have woolly hair. So we know that to be a fact. We have touched every great civilization, and there's plenty of ancient civilizations in India that's date back to 100,000 years. So that's another thing where I was saying we have to give credit to us having a global civilization, and that's the information we have to get back to, and we have to deny any Caucasian access to that, like he denied us access when he came to conquer our lands. So, sister, you was definitely right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You was definitely right. Egypt is here in America, and there's evidence in the Grand Canyons. There's evidence, I remember when I went to Colorado, it was for a boxing fight or whatever. I remember I was on a reservation, and I looked around, right? And I would say 99.9 of the people that was on the Indian reservation were heavy melanated, extremely woolly hair. And I say, why do you not put these melanated Native Americans, because that's what they call them, right? Native Americans in the front line instead of putting the white Asiatic Asian first. Like, nah, brother, there's melanated indigenous individuals that's been here for thousands of years, and that's been recorded by even Christopher Columbus. So can't keep denying the access of this information. And that's why I'm glad it's platforms like yours that we can produce this information.
Yes, definitely want to make sure that we are bringing the truth out. I'm going to share some information. Do you let's see. I want. It was something you said. I wish I could remember what you said that day. I could write. I didn't write it down, but you were referencing those 42 laws and like how the reference to like the biblical things. I wanted to, kind of break that down so people would see where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah. And I remember when I did bring that up, I was getting these
Right.
brothers, these Bible thumpers was trying to slaughter me, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, mine ended up kicking me out. And when I
Oh
went
yeah,
back
really?
when I went back into his thing, he took my little green thing, whatever the green thing is. I guess that allow you to jump right in or something.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I say he's so funny.
Yeah, that and I find that very disturbing because as a community, you're denying that this is a fact. Give me 1 second, because you're definitely right. Um, the similarities in the Ten Commandments is definitely similar to the 42 laws of Mayat. And I remember I had several conversations with different individuals about this.
Yes.
The first individuals that I had an issue with this was some Hebrew Israelites. And the first thing they did was point something out that was not in the Ten Commandments. And I think that was like the Sabbath thing. But give me 1 second to pull most of this information up, because I have this on PDF file on my side.
Sure. Did you want to share it, or you just gonna read a little bit?
I'm gonna drop a little bit. I'm gonna just read it. It'll be more faster for us.
Okay. That's sure. Take your time.
It'll be a lot faster. It won't take that long. I'm just pulling it up now. I got so much information. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it'd be hard to try to keep up with everything, huh? Sometimes.
Yes.
Where
See,
did I put
they call it the 42 laws of Maya, or the 42 laws of negative confessions, right? And the main areas that I would like to talk about is how the Caucasian extracted 10 commandments from the 42 laws of Maya and the 42 laws of negative confessions, or which would be 42 laws of Maya from the papyrus of Anu, something like this, So we would go into the area where it says, "You shall not commit adultery," right? We go into the 42 laws of Maya. It says, "I have not committed adultery." Now, this is in the 42 laws of Maya. This is the 11th law, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the 10 commandments, this is, hold on 1 second. This would be the seventh law, if I'm correct. The seventh law. So when I was speaking to them about this, they were denying it. And you really can't deny something that's right there in front of your face.
So it's the same thing as the Ten Commandments, except there's more.
Yeah, it's the same exact wording. The only difference is when you look at it, it says, "You shall not commit adultery." And then in the 42, it says, "I have not committed adultery." It's the same thing to me when I read it. It's just their understanding.
Oh, wait. You said one said, hold on, say that again. One says, it says, do not commit adultery. And
One
the other said,
says, this is the 10 commandments. It says, "You shall not commit adultery." And then when you go into the 42, it says, "I have not committed adultery." Right?
that's not the same thing, though.
Yeah. It's just different. It's just different translations. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's not so much different translations; it's different verbiage. So
Yeah.
when you said one said you shall not, that's telling someone something. That's giving them a command. That's saying you don't do that. Like your parents say, you better not do this, or you shouldn't do this. or don't do that. You know, that's what that one is saying. The other one is saying this is in past tense. It's saying that I have not, or what did it say? Say that again. What does the other one say? I shall not, or I have not. What did it say?
Yeah. Now the 10 Commandments say, "You shall not commit adultery."
You shall not. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the 42 says, "I have not committed adultery."
Yeah, so that's saying that it's saying like it's a story that's been discussed already, and it's stating that I haven't done that. I haven't thought about it. It's not on my mind, and I'm not doing it. And the other one is like it's instructing the person like, oh, this is something that you should not do. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different to me. I don't know if it's the same way.
I mean, to me, it's just one. When you look at it, it just says, "You shall not commit adultery." It's like me telling my kid, "Look, you shall not commit adultery," right? And then the other one is saying, "Look, I haven't." Like you said,
Right? That's two different things. That's not the same thing. But let's move on. Go on. What do the other ones say?
Okay, here go one that says, "You shall not steal."
It says you shall not steal. And what does it say in regards to that my app form?
Yeah, I'm pulling that one up right now because there's so many here. It's over like 42 of them.
Oh. Oh, it's not in the same order, right? Duh. Of course it's not in the same order. Let me see.
You shall not steal. And this one says, well, there's two different variants of it because you got I have not stolen, and then one says you shall not steal.
Yeah, so it's kind of doing the same thing as
What,
you know what I'm saying?
And
so
then there's another one that says I have not stolen or grind or something like that. Then another one says I have not stolen the property of the gods or goddesses. So there's different, interpretations of stealing here.
Right. Okay, hold on. It said, say that one again. It said, I have not stolen the property of the gods and goddesses.
Yes, ma'am. That's what it says. And then here at the bottom, you have another one that says, I have not stolen land.
Wait, I'm still on the other one. Okay, you said I have not. Wait, I forgot now.
Okay, let me go back. This is the 42. This is number 3. It says, I have not stolen. And then in the 10 Commandments, it just gives you plain, you shall not steal.
No, not that one. The one after that.
And then there's another one that says, I have not stolen the property of the gods and the goddesses.
I have not stolen the property of the gods and the goddesses. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Let me see. So it says I have not attacked anybody. Let me go to this one because I'm pretty sure.
Right, sis. Right. You hear what I'm hearing?
Power off.
Sis hearing what I'm hearing. Go ahead, brother. What's the next one?
Oh, I'm looking at that right now. Okay. All right, then it says, you have one that says, I have not committed any sins. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not slain anyone. Right? And then you have one that says, you shall not murder. Right? Then you have one that says, I have not committed robbery with violence. And then let's go back to the part where it says I haven't committed adultery. There's several different meanings to it as well. I have not committed adultery. I have not attacked anyone. I have not been angry with anyone, I mean, with just cause. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not trespassed. I have not blasphemy. I have not have a person of I'm not a person of violence.
So is it like, it's not like a list that just has them all in there that we could just like read down the list real quick?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. I have it here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it to you so you can drop it directly in the link. That'll be better. So I'm gonna go here. And,
Okay, I can't add it from my phone. Probably I'll need it in the email real quick. I'm on the computer. Can you hear me, brother?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
I just sent it to you.
In the email?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me go to my Gmail. Are you on a computer?
No, I'm on my iPhone and my computer.
Oh, okay. Can you share from your computer? Because sometimes when I start sharing, that's what gets making the stream X.
Well, I'm
Great.
doing the StreamYard from my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cause the StreamYard is from the phone's a little better. My Mac acts stupid at times.
Tell me about it. This computer. Somebody told me, sent me a message, was like, "Oh, sis, you need to, get a better processor." And I'm like, I got over like, I think it's like 2,000 gig processor or some crap. It's definitely not that. It's the something else that's stupid. Okay, I got it. It's internet.
And before we we go into that, there's several different versions of the Ten Commandments as well. So it's really hard to like accurately, direct it accurately to exactly what it is, because I'm looking here and there's several different versions of the Ten Commandments. So what I'm gonna do is I want both versions of the Ten Commandments, since there's two versions of the Ten Commandments.
So yes, it says I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain anybody. I have not stolen grain. I have not prolonged offerings. I have not stolen the property of the gods and the goddesses. I have not uttered lies. I have not carried away food. It sounds like these are laws for people that aren't the original people to the land. I have not uttered curses. I have not committed adultery. I have made none to weep. I have not eaten the heart. I have not grieved uselessly or felt remorse. I have not attacked anybody. I have not a person of deceit. I have not stolen cultivated land. What did I say? I have not stolen cultivated land. This sounds like these were laws that were given to the people. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not slandered anybody. I have not been angry without just cause. I have not debauched the wife of anybody. I have not debauched the wife of anybody, repeats the previous affirmation, but addressed to a different God. Hmm. Repeats the previous affirmation, but addressed to a different God. Hmm. I have not polluted myself. I have terrorized none. I have not transgressed law. I have not been wroth. I have not shut my ears to the word of truth. I have not blasphemed. I have not a person of violence. I am not a person of violence. I am not a stirrer up of strife or a disturber of the peace. I have not acted or judged with undue haste. I have not pried into manners. I have not multiplied my words in speaking. I have wronged no one. I have done no evil. I have not worked witchcraft against the king or queen or blasphemed against them. I have never stopped the flow of water. I have never raised my voice, spoken arrogantly or in anger. I have not cursed or blasphemed the gods or goddesses. I have not acted with evil rage. I have not stolen the bread of the gods and goddesses. I have not carried away the kinfood cakes from the spirits of the dead. I have not snatched away the bread of the child, nor treated with contempt the god or goddess of my city. I have not slain the cattle belonging to the god and the goddesses. The assessors of Ma'at are the 42 deities, the deities he's listed in the papyrus of Nebseni, to whom the
Yes.
deceased made the 42 negative confessions of the papyrus of Ani. They represent the 42 united gnomes of Kemet and are called the hidden Mati gods and goddesses who feed upon Mat during the years of their lives. They are the righteous minor deities who deserve offerings, as the decrease follows and set formula of negative confessions. He or she addresses each god or goddess directly and mentions the gnome of which the god is a patron in order to emphasize the unity of the gnome Kemet. One way to liberate yourself and for Africa to self-liberate is to restore Matic thinking. Mayat is not only the law that balances and harmonizes the society, Mayat protects it and more justly, more peace. And the Mayat is the same thing. You see, it says Yoga Congo. I keep on getting to this Congo thing with the King Kong thing and the Bantu tribe and the X genes and all this stuff. You super fucking heroes, y'all. Okay, but y'all superhero ass, y'all don't even know it. But you
Yes.
guys see this ties back into the Tirthankara, right? Are you
Yes.
guys listening to all of this stuff? This ties back into the Tirthankara. It ties into the Mayat. It ties into the Buddha, the Black Buddha that we've been talking about. It ties all of it ties into the same thing. That I didn't even know that this had anything to do with any of this stuff, and it's all the same thing. The fallen god that we talked about, that the people have been slaughtered for that. A lot of those Philippine people. Some of them roots that were mixed, but still they had those genes in them. It's a lot that goes with that. But yeah, what do you have to say about that, brother?
Well, I just have to say that the 42 laws play a direct connection to several different religious beliefs, and I mean several different religious beliefs and laws. And I was trying to pull up the Ten Commandments. There's too many versions of it. I just stepped back away from pulling it up. Can you hear me correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more than one version of the Ten Commandments, and I'm trying to because I'm looking at my PDF file and I'm coming up with different versions of it. But what I am going to do is, because I don't read in Hebrew, so I'm not even going to give you the one that is in Hebrew. Um,
Let's see. So yeah, brother, when it comes to all this that's going on with while you're looking for that with this so-called war and stuff that's going on, do you have any personal comments, just in general, as far as like this, the so-called queen who pretended to be queen, and this queen, the queen being dead, and all this other stuff. You have any comment on any of that type of stuff? A little off topic.
Run that by me one more time.
They're saying the queen was dead. She wished she been dead, but still they were saying that, or she been arrested or whatever. They were saying that she died of the corona or whatever. People were saying that no, it didn't happen, and all this other. So it's stories back and forth. You don't know what they saying or whatever. Have you heard about any of that?
So that would be the Queen Elizabeth, right?
Right.
Nah, I didn't. I've heard that she had COVID. But I didn't really pay no attention to it really. The only reason why is because those people are imposters.
Mm-hmm.
That crown don't belong to them whatsoever. Also, I was speaking of the sister before that I do work with.
Mm-hmm.
She deals with paper genocide. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Do you hear me?
Not particularly. What do you mean? Did I hear about her dealing with it, or
No, like in general of paper genocide.
Yes.
Yeah, she's one of those individuals that deal with that. And at the time before I met her, I really didn't do my family tree line. And a lot of us here in America have a connection with the Crown of England when we really do our lineage, our background. And a lot of us also are, when we look at that, we'll find that we are really indigenous here and not Africa. And she specializes in that department. That's all I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. Were you able to find the papers? Did you want me to try and see if I could pull it up?
Yeah, I'm about to send it to your email right now. Please forgive me for the yelling you guys hear in the background. Some kids outside acting out of their mind.
Very good. We'll play maybe a short little song while we're waiting on you to get that, brother. Take a little break. You've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes. You want to take about 3 minutes? I'll play a short little song.
Yeah, go ahead, because then that give me enough time to send everything to you. I'm gonna send you some other information as well for you. You know,
I appreciate it.
Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
All right, let's play my favorite. I played it earlier, guys, for main radio. I think that was my first time playing on main radio, the song by the guy Justice. But we'll play that again because it's not too long. Give us a minute.
Frustration itself has been sufficient, all that was necessary to make Negroes realize the importance of banding together. And Negroes are banding together.
Banding together in what kind of...
They say revolution won't be televised, so we gotta militarize to rise, put a knee on their neck like they do ours. Bring them down just like the Twin Towers. It's all psychological, so far from logical. Turn my back on my brother, shit ain't optional. Green beret, now I'm a black beret. I'm defiant cause I want some justice today. Am I African or am I American? Tell you the truth, shit, I might just be Cherokee. Give me my feathers and give me my teepee and all the possessions belonging to me. But you claiming that this the land of the free, home of the brave, more like not of the slavery. You say democracy, I say hypocrisy. Strong black man, robbed in my history.
All right, so Jeff, it does appear that protesters have set a police car on fire. Let's go ahead and zoom in to those massive flames that are building up right now. This is on Centennial Olympic Park Drive. It's right in front of the CNN Center.
Don't want your medication, we need meditation. We'll fix it ourselves. Infiltration, but if all else fails, ain't no contemplating. Better Glock and a K fix the situation. I'm my brother's keeper, got an obligation. Like women and children, die for the nation. Fuck your vaccinations, we need segregation. Off with their heads, decapitation. Moving kings and queens, final destination. Bet my presentation fix the situation. Still all our land, gentrification. Now look at all this bullshit that we be facing. I'm done with the marching, I'm done with the protests. I'm about to strap up and put on my vest. If you stand your ground, you gon' catch a case anyway. Take it from me, living witness. I share.
The police and the bullets flying down at me. Attack me in cuffs while I was in custody. His buddies got away scot-free. Believe it or not, they still on the street. They still on the street.
Yeah, they still on the street, walking around in the
All right, brother. All right, brother. You want to go ahead and get into this one? You want to read some of it so they can kind of get an idea of it, or?
Well, that's the information I wanted to send to you. I should have sent that stuff to you in the beginning. That's breaking down the influence of the Pope issuing a war on the indigenous inhabitants of Earth. So that's research for you. I believe in passing research to different individuals that I can build with, because that's the first step of building in our community. That's for you to have.
So do you have like a PDF link? Maybe you can drop, because when you send it to me, it's like in my Gmail. So it's going to my drive, and it's only showing me the drive to share.
There's a PDF file that I just dripped to you. I probably sent you a ton of different emails. Let me go to the specific one I'm speaking. I mean, the one that I sent you. That would be the 10 pieces of evaluation. Yeah, 10 pieces of the evaluation that proved Black people sailed to America long before Christopher Columbus. And I surely do have one, and I'm going to send that to you too. Oh, wow. This file has exceeded over.
I'm trying to see the other ones.
This
I
one I'm
think this
talking
is
about
the
was
same one that
sent.
came a couple times ago.
There was one that was sent 3 minutes ago. There's another file that I'm trying to send you, or the information that you have, like they're like screenshots, but it's not allowing me to. It's saying that I exceeded some kind of whatever. I'm trying to get that one over to you. This is what I do, because it's not allowing me to send it through email because it's saying the file is too big.
Okay.
So I have another route of doing this. But again, this is information for you to have as well. For you to have. Yeah, saying the file is too big. I don't understand why it's so big. Why I can't send it to you.
Don't want you to share.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not liking that.
Yeah, we couldn't even get the thing, the whole freaking stream dang there couldn't go. It do that a lot, but man, it was really acting stupid today. It kept knocking you out, pulling you in, knocking you out. I'm like, really?
Well, you know that I feel like that's something stopping the information from being displayed, you know? That's what it's definitely doing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is over maybe
You said a new
20 slides that I'm trying to send you. I wish I could narrow it down. Like, you know, it's not allowing me to send you piece by piece. The problem is I'm taking this from my cloud. That may be the problem. This file exceeds 5 mg attachment limit. Sorry. Discard.
Okay, I wanted to pull something else, but we are actually going on 2 hours. I don't really want to get into any other information because I start reading and then we'll be talking and I'll be reading and talking. But yeah, I appreciate you coming up, bro. Thank you so much. You are definitely welcome to join me another time. You know, I do lives often, so not just for main radio. That's just on Sundays and Wednesdays, but yeah, you're definitely free to join us and come in any other time on any subject. I'm always talking about like history and things of that nature. So you'll probably have some input, and you're definitely free to give your input.
Definitely. And I do a lot of cross promotion as well. Particularly for melanated businesses.
Okay.
When it comes to my fights, I like taking like an organization. Like before I come out my fight, it'll be like this fight is being sponsored by this organization, and that's also how I help different businesses get their name out there. Like I have a company that I've partnered with. It's a shoe company. It's called Crossover Kicks. It's owned by a melanated brother from out of North Carolina. So I have different businesses that I work with, and so like we can definitely do cross promotion with each other as well. That's one thing you would be interested in as well.
All right. Definitely sounds good. All right, brother. Well, we will definitely get with you guys tomorrow. That I'll have something great for you guys, possibly early tomorrow.
Definitely, and you be blessed, and thank you for inviting me on the show.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate you being up, brother.
Okay, be blessed.
You too. Have a great one. This YouTube is posting crazy hours at least something regarding the time that you want to go on. That's crazy, sis. You already know screwing me over. But yeah, guys, y'all have a good one, and I will be back with you guys tomorrow with something great. And y'all have a good evening. Peace, love, blessings, and I am out.